Welcome back to Factor Y. Last episode we learned how to launch a rocket and colonize a planet, as well as send a cargo ship to start building some stuff on that planet. This episode what we're going to do is, if I do another playthrough of this game or another season of this game, I would definitely design my base differently so that I can be prepared to send stuff to space on a regular basis. Whereas this one I just wasn't sure what we were getting into. Anyways, what I gotta do is design a system to somehow, because I have two choices. I can either rebuild some of the stuff on the other planet and remake stuff like, I'll need conveyor belts and arms and stuff on the other planet so I can build freely on that planet. But it seems kind of silly to rebuild all the stuff that we put all this time and energy into. Why this stuff sits idle, why build it on a new planet. So I guess what I'm gonna do is try to somehow pull some of these items down to a separate line down here, somewhere down here, and load them into the conveyor belt or into the rocket launch pad here to send to the other planet. There's a couple items I'm not sure that we can do it with, like cargo ships. I know we can't send cargo ships via cargo ships, meaning we can't load a cargo ship onto another cargo ship. So we'll have to either send the supplies to build the cargo ships on the other planet, or look at assembling cargo ships on each individual planet. A couple other questions I have is like the launch pads and the rocket landing zones and stuff like that, if we're able to send those via cargo ship or not too. So hopefully we'll find some of those answers out today. But let's get started. Let's figure, I'm going to just draw a line, conveyor belt down here, and then even over here on this side, and pull items off this bus down to here, and that we can send over to the rocket ship. Alright, here's what I'm thinking. I have this line drawn down here. This is basically just going to be pulling items off this belt. So for instance, this is where we're building everything up here. I'm going to take this, for instance, this here is Mark II belts. So I'm going to put a merger or a splitter in here, run these down to here, and then put this down here. But you can select a filter on it, like a count. So I'm going to count and say, let's say I want 100 of these sent to the other planet. So this arm will stop operating after it swings 100 items across. And then what I can do is just click on this again. When I'm ready to send the next cargo ship, click on it again and it turns it off, turn it back on, and reset the limit to 100 or whatever I'm going to send this time. Now I can load each cargo ship with an exact number of items that I want. So if I want 100 solar panels, I can send that, 20 furnaces. And that way I'll just be sitting here waiting. All I have to do is go down the line and select, okay, I want solar panels on this one, so let's find the solar panels, turn the arm on, and it'll load them into the cargo ship for me. And then I'll just put this down here with a whole bunch of these. So it loads the cargo ship faster. We'll upgrade these arms too, but it's not loading right now because there's no cargo ship here. But so let me get the rest of this set up, and then we'll see if it works the way I think it's going to. Alright, let's take a look at the setup. We have rocket fuel down here. Notably, there's 3 arms supplying coal. It actually needs a 4th one if you want to be making it constantly. But I don't think we'll be able to launch rockets fast enough to make that difference. So we will see how that goes. Up here we can just copy the cargo ships up to here. We have quite a few stacked up. They should just load one and wait. This is leftover stuff that we are loading in from the stuff. This will just get cleared out. This is my main bus line now up here. We'll go over this one in a second, but this line just needs cleared off from what was left on here. What I've done is I've created all these lines coming down from the stuff I'm making up here. So for this instance, this one is solar panels. Right now it has batteries on it because I got mixed up when I was designing it. So it'll be solely all solar panels once it gets cleared out. You can see up here it just comes from the solar panel farm. Then I have something similar over here. This is the battery production right here. I have a line coming down here for batteries. So basically what I'll do is I'll decide, okay, we want, let's delete this real quick and get this set up. Alright, so that's how I want that done. So basically we'll decide I want, let's say, I decide I want 25 batteries. I'll click on this guy, set this limit to 25 because I have this filter active. And then when I copy him down here, it'll save that and it'll stop putting 20 batteries on after 25 of them. So we'll come back and check and make sure that's the case. Then if I ever want to do it again, I just have to reset this filter and decide how many batteries I want to send to space. So similarly up here, let's say we want to send 100 solar panels. This one's already set to 25, so I can set it to 100 before I copy it. And that way when I copy it down, it'll do 100 solar panels. So and this bus line goes all the way to, follows the entire bus line here. You can see here it comes down here, goes down, over, and back over. So I can pull any item off the bus I want and send it to space. This will automatically launch when it hits 1,000. It's got 112 furnaces on there, which is way too many, but that's just the way it worked out because I forgot they were being sent. 73 solar panels, 98 batteries. So I decided I wanted to send another 100 of these. So all I gotta do is click on it, turn it off, turn it back on, set it back to 100. So it's gonna send a couple extra because it takes me a minute to enter the numbers, but 102. So, but easy enough. This is getting a little bit close to full. We're only about 52%. So it will launch at 100%. We could always make it launch sooner, but for now, I'm going to fill it up with all sorts of goodies and go from there. So next up, we have to decide about the cargo ships. I think what I'm going to do is build the supplies for the cargo ships and send them to the moon. So all we have to do is assemble it. But we'll also have to send rocket fuel, which we cannot send on the cargo ship, I don't believe. So we'll have to send coal up there so that we can make it, because there's no coal on the moon. But so first off, we're going to send the cargo ship supplies. So I'm going to basically copy this setup, these computers, chips, and motors, and make cargo. We're not going to actually make the cargo ships. We're going to send these 3 supplies to the moon and assemble the cargo ships on the moon. Same thing with the rocket fuel. So we will put a setup, I'm guessing, right over here, so that I can easily just send it back over to the cargo ship here. I've got a small mining setup here, just iron and copper, nothing crazy. We're going to come down here. I'm going to set this up a little bit differently, but we're going to copy this. Try that again. We'll copy this up here, rotate it around. Let's see, it wants to go this way, and I'm going to put it right there. So that way this will be, let's see, this is iron coming in, so iron will be, let's go ahead and draw these up. Okay, so iron is this one. We'll get these hooked up in a minute, but basically this one I want to come out and make a third line on the bus for that, because down here we had to go up and over and bring them back in for the computers. Well, I don't want to do that this time. I want them to be, so let's grab this, I guess. Copy this. We'll have to watch power. We're going to start chewing through power pretty quick. Rotate that around. Let's see. Should be good there. And then lastly, we want to grab the motors. Copy this setup. Bring it up. I got a influencer in there. Rotate it around. Something like that. Let's see, this one here is iron. So let's grab the iron line. Iron down there. That means this one is copper. Copy that there. That's iron and copper in. So that'll make chips. Chips are we're gonna bring back to the bus here. This is copper in. Let's copy that. That is copper in. Got to extend these up. Looks like this one here is iron. That's iron in. What's this one? This one is the chips. So chips are on this one. We'll go ahead and do a Mach 2 one, I guess. Seems to be. I'll come up and upgrade these lines if I need to. This is computers out. And this is going to be motors out. Come through and reverse this. Alright, so that is chips, computers, and motors. So I just got to hook this up to the cargo station, which is this line right here. Actually, we're going to make a separate line for it, so let's do this. Let's bring it down here. Bring these up here. And then we'll just put the filter arms on here so we can send how many ever we want. This one needs to be So one problem I thought of is that this stuff, all this stuff that's on the ship right now is for building. So it's okay to be put in a provider chest. So when the spaceship lands, it's all going to just be thrown in a provider chest. The motors and computers that we just built cannot be put in a provider chest because there's no way to get them back out. So, and we need them for constructing stuff on the planet. So what I'm going to do is build a second. I think what we'll do is do a second. We'll get rid of some of this, build a second rocket launch pad. I copy this down. This gap is driving me nuts. There. So we can basically just copy this down. Put it right here, I guess. And we will use this one. We'll have to do a separate landing zone on the moon to put it on here. Then we will put these arms on the second landing zone, but we'll put filters on these so it only pulls out certain items so we can send them to the correct space on the moon. And we'll only do that with computers, motors, chips, and coal. So I snuck the fuel line around the side here, and that way we can put fuel into the rocket. I can't put a rocket on here yet because I don't have it linked to a space station landing zone yet. So we will just wait for that, but we'll get it all set up so it's ready to go. This is about 93%, so it's almost ready to launch. Shouldn't be long. We can set up this cargo ship supplies, so we're going to need, each cargo ship takes 100 chips, 100 computers, and 30 motors. So I'm going to send up enough for 3 cargo ships. So 300. So let's copy this one up. This will be 300 chips, 300 computers. And let's change this to 90 motors. So that'll load 90 motors, and then the rest will be coal. Let's do, I don't know, 400 coal. So that'll get that loaded up. Once we attach the spaceship to here, it'll start loading it. But we're actually, I think, ready to go to the other planet, and I gotta wait till this finishes loading so that it sends it to the other planet, which we are at 99%. So it should go any second here. I don't know if there's a way to tell how many items are on it. Well, why it's loading fuel now. It should have been loading fuel before. Oh, it's loading fuel because it launched. Zoom out and see. Yep, there it goes there. So it's launched, so it's on its way. So that's good stuff there. As soon as it gets to the planet, we will set up. The first thing we'll do is to try to smelt some stone so we can create another landing zone so we can send up the supplies for the cargo ships. So, little experiment. I sent one lonely rocket launch pad down here. I'm going to see if I can load it into the rocket. It'll make my life much easier than having to build it on the moon. But let's see if it'll load it or not. It did load it. Yeah, it's in there, so that's awesome. So I will send landing zones as well, and that way it'll simplify the moon's situation quite a bit. Let's go over to the other planet and set up the second landing zone so we can link these 2 space stations together so we can start sending the supplies for the cargo ships. So that is over here. We'll just put one, I don't know, probably, I don't know, there, looks good. So I'm going to go back real quick, link those 2 together and get that other rocket loading all the cargo ship supplies. And then we'll come over here and start working on this small setup over here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is expand our solar farm up here. Got 270 of these right now in stock, so let's put a whole bunch down. Alright, that should hold us for a little bit. We have some more in inventory, so I can put more down if I need to, but that'll get us going. Next up, we're going to put a smelting column down for some titanium. I think we'll have to put a rocket launch pad in here somewhere. So I guess we'll put that in after we do the smelting column. Let's move these up to, I don't know, here I guess. And basically to put this down, the same thing, we got to put miners down. We should have plenty in stock now that we sent a whole bunch from planet Earth, we'll call it. I think I brought Mach 2 miners. Yeah, Mark 2 miners, yep. So let's just put... We'll start with 6, and I'll just basically make a smelting column here, and we will then set up the rocket launch pad. Alright, that's the start of that. We'll finalize that once we get the rest of the stuff going. First thing we're going to do is grab these, copy these over a little bit. And make an area for... We're going to need somewhere to make rocket fuel and somewhere to make cargo ships. So let's see, rocket fuel is going to be what again? Rocket fuel is coal, rods, and screws. So rods and screws. So I guess we got to set up some miners down here. Not many. Put one of these down over here, and we'll set this filter to be just to grab coal. That way we can grab, eventually that spaceship will make it over here and deliver coal to this place along with the motors, computers, and chips. And that way we can just grab coal off one, throw it on one belt, and send it over to the rocket fuel line. Alright, so that is rocket fuel. This is garbage. So that's just rods and screws into the fuel, and then coal will come from the launch pad, which is way over here. We'll handle that in a minute. Next up, let's put down a assembler for the cargo ships. These are going to be cargo ships. 100 chips, 100 computers, and 30 motors. So let's do motors here. And then we'll do the chips and computers there. So we just gotta grab lines from here. We'll set these up in a minute. I just want to get stuff situated. And then we need a rocket launch pad. Where's a good spot for this? We're going to want to send titanium to it as well as rocket fuel and cargo ships. So cargo ships will be made somewhere in here. Rocket fuel, cargo ships. So really right on this iron or copper patch would be good. Cargo ships up. And over to the pad. Alright, so that's cargo ships up there. We need rocket fuel. Rocket fuel will be right here. I have to get a crossing there. Put it in now, otherwise I'll forget. So it's cargo ships, rocket fuel, and then titanium will be right here. I really should have brought Mark II belts. I was thinking that I was going to eat too much power up, which it probably is. But I'm going to have to come back and redo all these anyway, so because I'm going to have to put Mark II belts down eventually. So this will be right here. No, this will be right here. And these. All right, so this one is going to be coal, and we can just copy it up here, and that way it'll only take coal out of the space pad. Perfect. And then we need 3 lines coming out. We can probably go up with them. One, 2, 3 lines coming in. Really, we're only going to make 1 cargo ship, so I can really just delete these. We're not going to have more than one thing assembling cargo ships. So this top one here needs to be, what is it, motors. So we have top one is motors. Why is it not taking any motors out? Oh, because I set it to rocket fuel. Motors is this one. Right, this has motors. 98 motors. Why is it not taking them out? Interesting. I did set this to motors, right? Motor. Let's try deleting it and putting it back in. Still no motors. There are motors, they're sitting right here. 90 of them. And this is set to pull out motors. I don't know why it's not. This is working. Pulling out coal. Looks like it might be turned off. No, that's turned off now. What am I doing wrong? I wonder if you just can't pull off the top. We'll try putting one over here. No, that's not working either. I must be out of power or something. So nothing I'm trying is working, so I'm going to try something different. We're going to try something like this. And then make these be the... My problem is if it makes it past this, it'll... Well, we can make it go in a circle. So let's put this up here. So this will only grab motors off of there. Let's see if this works. Let's put down an arm. And it'll pull everything off. So that'll work. I wonder if it can only pull the coal off first before it can pull this off. I bet you that's it. So I bet you have to unload all the coal before you can get to this. In that case, we will come up with a different design. Alright, so I'm thinking something like this, where I'll just unload everything under this circle belt here, and I'll set filters on the arms pulling stuff off, so this will pull coal off. This is set to pull motors off. This one can pull chips off. And this one can pull computers off. And that way if it misses it, if there's two computers right around it, grabs one and misses the second one, it'll just circle back around and it'll get to it. The only problem with this system is it could back up quite quickly. Like if I bring over extra coal that I accidentally and don't use it all, it's going to fill this belt with coal, and I won't have anywhere to put the coal. So I'm going to have to be really careful what I send over. I think in the future I'd probably just do one spaceport per product, because if it has to pull all the coal off first before it can get to the chips, it's kind of a whole different design situation. But in this way we can delete these. Like so, all I gotta do is copy these over. Actually, we don't want to copy them because we just copy it and we'll remove the filter. So that should fill the belt up quite quickly. So it's grabbing chips off and leaving the coal. The coal is coming around here. And that appears to be the case. It's unloading chips next, so then it's gonna, so it has to work its way down through the queue. Hello, kitty. The other flaw to this system is it's really slow, right? Because once it fills the belt, I only got one arm pulling chips off, so it's gonna only pull them off one at a time. So even though there's 6 arms waiting to unload chips, there's nowhere to put them because it's taking them really slow here. So it's kind of a bottleneck here, but it'll work for now. We don't need to make cargo ships super fast, so for what it needs to be doing, it'll be fine. So that's that. This is titanium plates being made. So all we got to do now is go back to planet Earth, build a landing zone for titanium to be shipped in, and then we can start making level 5 research. We will work on level 5 research in the next episode. This one's run kind of long, so that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time.